At 60 years of age, Mama Grace was dancing at the traffic signal just to survive. And people were throwing money at her, not to help her, but for their own entertainment. How did a once beautiful, rich, and respected woman end up like this? Her story will break your heart. Come, let's watch it together. Please, she whispered to the hot wind, just enough for bread today. 25 years ago, Grace was the jewel of Kano village. Her beauty was talked about in 3 villages. Her kindness was known even more. She was married to Chief Musa, the most powerful man for miles around. "My queen," Chief Musa would say every morning, kissing her forehead, "you make the sun jealous with your smile." Grace would laugh, her voice like sweet honey. "And you make me the luckiest woman alive." Their home was the biggest in the village. It had 10 rooms and a garden full of flowers. But what made it special was not the size. It was the love that filled every corner. Their daughter Kemi had become a doctor in the city. She would call every week. "Mama, I got promoted again." Kemi's voice would sing through the phone, "all because you taught me to never give up." Their son Taiwo owned 3 shops in Lagos. He sent money home every month and visited with his wife and children. "Papa, Mama," he would say, "everything I have is because of your love and prayers." Grace spent her days helping the poor in the village. She paid school fees for children who had no money. She gave food to hungry families. She took care of sick people who could not afford medicine. "Sister Grace is an angel," the village women would say. "God sent her to us." The village children called her Mama Grace, even though they were not her own kids. She loved them all like her own blood. Chief Musa would watch his wife with pride. "You have the biggest heart in all of Africa," he would tell her. Life was perfect. Love was everywhere. Peace filled their days. But in a far place called America, someone was watching, someone was planning, someone was coming back. Josh had left the village 25 years ago with a broken heart. He was Chief Musa's younger brother, but he had loved Grace first. Back then, when they were all young, Josh would bring Grace flowers every day. "Marry me, Grace," he would beg. "I will give you the world." But Grace's heart belonged to Musa. "I am sorry, Josh. I love your brother. Please understand." The day Grace married Musa, Josh's heart broke into 1,000,000 pieces. He could not watch them be happy, so he ran away to America. "I will come back one day," he had whispered to the wind, "and she will be mine." 25 years passed. Josh became rich in America. He had a wife and 2 children, but he never forgot Grace. Her face haunted his dreams every night. "Why can't I forget her?" he would ask himself in his big house in New York. "Why does she still own my heart?" His American wife, Sarah, noticed his sadness. "Honey, what's wrong? You seem so far away." "Nothing," Josh would lie, "just thinking about home." But it was not nothing. It was everything. Grace was everything. One day, Josh made a decision that would destroy many lives. "I'm going back to Nigeria," he told Sarah, "to visit my family." "For how long?" Sarah asked. "Maybe forever," Josh said, his eyes cold. Chief Musa was so happy when his brother called. "Josh, my brother, you're coming home after 25 years." "Yes, big brother," Josh said on the phone. "I miss home. I miss family." What Chief Musa did not know was that Josh's heart was full of darkness. 25 years of pain had turned his love into something evil. When Josh arrived in the village, everyone celebrated. There was a big party, music played, food was everywhere, children danced. But Josh only had eyes for Grace. She was 50 now, but still beautiful. Her kindness made her glow like a lamp in the dark. "Welcome home, brother-in-law," Grace said with a warm smile. "We missed you so much." Josh's heart stopped. Her voice was still like music. Her smile still made him weak. "Grace," he whispered, taking her hand too long. "You haven't changed at all." Grace pulled her hand away gently. Something felt wrong, but she could not say what. During dinner, Josh could not stop staring at her. When she served him food, he would touch her hand. When she laughed at her husband's jokes, jealousy burned in Josh's chest. "She should be mine," he thought. "She should have always been mine." The next day, Josh came to their house with expensive gifts. There were gold jewelry, silk dresses, and perfumes from America. "These are for you, Grace," he said, his eyes burning with desire. Grace stepped back. "I cannot take these, Josh. I don't accept gifts from other men. Only from my husband?" Josh's face became dark. "But we are family. I am your brother-in-law." "Still," Grace said firmly, "it is not right. Please understand." Chief Musa was not there. He had gone to the next village for chief business. Josh moved closer to Grace. "You are still the most beautiful woman I have ever seen." "Stop this talk," Grace said, fear growing in her heart. "This is not right. I am married to your brother." "My brother does not deserve you," Josh said, his voice getting angry. "Hijita had never deserved you. You should have chosen me." Grace ran to her room and locked the door. Her hands were shaking. "What is happening?" she whispered to herself. "Why is he acting this way?" That night, she told her husband what happened. "Maybe you misunderstood him," Chief Musa said. "Josh has been in America too long. Maybe he forgot our ways." "No, Musa," Grace said. "I know what I saw in his eyes. Please be careful." But Chief Musa loved his brother too much to see the truth. Josh knew he could not get Grace with gifts or sweet words, so he made an evil plan. He found Grace's best friend, Fatima. Fatima was jealous of Grace's happy life. She always smiled at Grace, but her heart was full of hate. Why does she have everything? Fatima would think. Beautiful husband, successful children, respect from everyone. What do I have? Nothing. Josh met Fatima secretly in the market. "I need your help," he told her, "and I will pay you well." "What kind of help?" Fatima asked, her eyes greedy for money. "I want to teach Grace a lesson," Josh lied. "She thinks she is better than everyone. I want to humble her." This was not true, but Fatima wanted to believe it. She was tired of being jealous. "What do you want me to do?" she asked. "Tell her you bought a new house, invite her to see it, make her drink something with sleeping medicine in it." Fatima's heart knew this was wrong, but money made her blind. "How much will you pay me?" "Enough to make you rich," Josh promised. And so the trap was set. 3 days later, Fatima came to Grace's house with a big smile. "Grace, my sister," she said happily, "I have good news." "What is it?" Grace asked, serving her tea. "I bought a new house. It is so beautiful. You must come and see it today." Grace was happy for her friend. "Really? That is wonderful news. Of course, I will come." "But we must go now," Fatima said, "before it gets dark." Something felt strange, but Grace pushed the feeling away. This was her best friend since childhood. "Let me tell Musa where I am going," Grace said. "No time," Fatima said quickly. "He is in a meeting with the village elders. We will be back soon." Grace trusted her friend. She had no reason not to. They walked to the edge of the village where Fatima said her new house was. "It is just ahead," Fatima kept saying when Grace asked how much further. Finally, they reached a small house that looked empty and old. "This is your new house?" Grace asked, confused. "Yes, come inside and see how beautiful it is." Inside, the house was dark and dusty. There was no furniture except for 2 chairs and a table. "Fatima, this place looks abandoned," Grace said, worry growing in her heart. "Sit, sit," Fatima said nervously. "Let me get us something to drink. I have cold juice." Grace sat down, feeling more and more uncomfortable. Why was her friend acting so strange? Fatima went to the back room and came back with 2 glasses of orange juice. "Drink, my sister," Fatima said, but her hands were shaking. "Fatima, are you okay? You seem nervous." "I am just excited about my new house," Fatima lied. Grace drank the juice. It tasted bitter, but she thought maybe the oranges were not sweet. Within minutes, her head began to spin. The room started moving. "Fatima," she whispered, "I don't feel good." "Just rest, sister," Fatima said, but tears were now falling from her eyes. "I am so sorry. I am so sorry." "What do you mean?" Grace tried to stand but fell back down. "What did you do?" But before Fatima could answer, Grace's eyes closed. She fell into a deep, dark sleep. Fatima ran outside and made a phone call. "It is done," she cried into the phone. "She is unconscious, but please do not hurt her too much. I cannot live with myself if—" "Just leave." Josh's voice was cold. "Take your money and go. Forget you were ever here." Josh entered the house like a shadow. For 25 years, he had dreamed of this moment. For 25 years, he had planned his revenge. Grace lay unconscious on the chair. Even in sleep, she was beautiful. Finally, he whispered, "You will be mine." He took out his phone and set up the camera. His plan was evil and perfect. He would destroy her reputation forever. If he could not have her love, he would take everything else from her. He began to remove her clothes, taking pictures and videos of every moment. He made sure her face was clear in every shot. "When your husband sees this," he said to her unconscious body, "he will throw you away like garbage. When your children see this, they will never speak to you again. And when the whole village sees this, you will have nowhere to go. Then you will need me. Then you will come to me." After he finished his evil work, he dressed her again in her own clothes. He made sure everything looked normal. Then he sent the videos to his phone and uploaded them to the village WhatsApp group from a fake account. "Look what the chief's wife is doing," the message said. "This video was taken today. See how she betrays her husband." Within minutes, the videos spread like wildfire. Every phone in the village buzzed with notifications. Josh left Grace in the house and went back to his brother's home. He would pretend to be shocked when the videos were discovered. 2 hours later, Grace woke up with a terrible headache. The room was dark now. She was confused and scared. "Fatima," she called out. "Fatima, where are you?" But there was no answer. The house was empty and silent. Grace stood up slowly. Her body felt strange, but she could not understand why. "What happened to me?" she wondered. "Why did I fall asleep so suddenly?" She walked outside and realized she did not know where she was. It was getting dark, and she was afraid. After walking for an hour, she found the main road and recognized where she was. She hurried home, worried that her husband would be angry that she was out so late. But when she reached her house, something was very wrong. Her husband was standing outside with many village men. Their faces were full of anger and disgust. "Musa," she called out. "What is happening? Why does everyone look so angry?" Chief Musa turned to look at his wife. His eyes were red with tears and rage. Without a word, he spat in her face. "How could you do this to me?" he screamed. "How could you shame our family like this?" Grace wiped the spit from her face, shocked and confused. "What are you talking about? I don't understand." "Don't lie to me," Musa shouted. "Everyone has seen the video. Everyone knows what kind of woman you really are." "What video? Musa, please, I don't know what you're talking about." One of the village men held up his phone. "This video, you shameless woman, you and another man, in a bedroom." Grace looked at the phone screen and saw herself, but she was not wearing clothes, and there was a man's hands on her body. "That is not me," she screamed. "I never did this. Someone has made this up." But even as she said it, she could see it was her face, her body. How was this possible? "I was with Fatima," she cried. "She showed me her new house. I fell asleep. This is not real." "Enough lies," Musa shouted. "Get out of my house. Get out of my sight. You are no longer my wife." Before Grace could say another word, her son Taiwo arrived from Lagos. He had driven all night after seeing the video. "How could you do this to us?" he yelled at his mother. "How can I show my face in public now? My friends, my business partners, everyone has seen this video." "Taiwo, my son, please listen to me," Grace begged, reaching for him. "This is not what it looks like. Someone has done this to hurt me." But Taiwo pushed her away. "Don't touch me. You have brought shame to our family name. I cannot call you my mother anymore." Kemi, her daughter, arrived the next morning from Abuja. She had been crying all night. "Mama, how could you?" Kemi sobbed. "I am a doctor. People respect me. Now everyone is laughing at me because of what you did." "Kemi, my daughter, my heart." Grace fell to her knees. "I did not do this. Someone has trapped me. Please believe your mother." But Kemi turned her back. "I cannot believe you. The video is clear. It is your face, your body. You have destroyed our family." Even the grandchildren were told not to talk to their grandmother anymore. "She is a bad woman now," Taiwo told his children. "Do not go near her." Word spread fast in the small village. Within 2 days, everyone had seen the video. The women who once called Grace sister now crossed the street to avoid her. "Look at that shameless woman," they would whisper, "acting holy all these years, but see what she really is." The children she had helped with school fees now threw stones at her house. bad woman, they would chant. The families she had fed when they were hungry now spat when they saw her. Meanwhile, Josh watched everything with dark satisfaction. His plan was working perfectly. But late at night, when he was alone, guilt began to eat at his heart. He had destroyed an innocent woman's life just because she did not love him. "What have I done?" he would whisper in the dark. "What kind of monster have I become?" He tried to convince himself that Grace deserved this. "She chose my brother over me," he would say. "This is her punishment." But deep down, he knew the truth. He had become evil. Fatima could not sleep either. The money Josh gave her felt dirty in her hands. "I have destroyed my best friend," she cried every night. "What have I done for money?" She wanted to tell the truth, but she was scared. If people knew she had helped, they would hate her too. After a week of shame and rejection, Chief Musa made his final decision. "Pack your things and leave," he told his wife coldly. "You are no longer welcome in this house." "Musa, please," Grace begged on her knees. "I am your wife of 25 years, the mother of your children. You know who I am. You know I would never do this." "I thought I knew you," Musa said, his voice breaking, "but I was wrong. The woman I married would never do such a thing." "You are not her." "I am her," Grace screamed. "Someone has done this to hurt me. Please, just listen." But Musa had already made up his mind. "If you do not leave, I will call the village men to throw you out." With tears streaming down her face, Grace packed her few belongings in one small bag. As she walked away from the only home she had known for 25 years, her husband, children, and grandchildren watched without saying goodbye. "Please," she turned back one last time, "please believe me. I love you all so much." But they had already gone back inside and closed the door. With nowhere to go and no money, Grace found herself living under a bridge in the next town. She had never been alone in her life. The loneliness was like a knife in her heart. She tried to find work, but the video had spread everywhere. Even in the next town, people knew her face. "You are that shameless woman from the video," they would say. "Get away from here." No one would give her a job. No one would help her. She began to beg for food, but people would spit at her and chase her away. "You have money hidden somewhere," they would accuse her. "Why else would you do such shameful things?" After 2 months of hunger and homelessness, Grace made a desperate decision. She would dance at traffic lights for coins. Every morning, Grace would walk to the busy intersection in town. When the light turned red and cars stopped, she would dance. Her movements were slow and tired. Her clothes were dirty and torn. But she danced because it was the only way to get money for food. Some people threw coins. Most people just stared and laughed. "Look at the dancing grandmother," young people would point and make videos with their phones. "She must be crazy," others would say. But Grace was not crazy. She was just trying to survive. Every night, she would count her coins and cry, "How did my life become this? How did I fall so far?" She thought about her husband every day. Does he miss me? Does he wonder if maybe I was telling the truth? She thought about her children. Do they ever think about their mother? Do they feel sorry for throwing me away? But there were no answers. Only the hot sun, the busy traffic, and the few coins that kept her alive. This had been her life for 6 months when the stranger appeared. It was a Tuesday afternoon. The sun was burning hot. Grace was dancing at her usual spot when a big, shiny car stopped at the red light. The window rolled down, and she saw a young man watching her. He looked about 35 years old. His clothes were expensive, and his watch sparkled in the sun. But it was not his wealth that caught her attention. It was his eyes. They were filled with kindness and sadness, as if he understood her pain. When people threw coins, she would smile and say, "God bless you." But when she looked at this young man, no words came out. He stared at her for a long moment. Then he did something that surprised her. He stepped out of his car, even though the light was still red. Other cars began to honk, but he ignored them. He walked straight to Grace and took her hands in his. "Mom," he said gently, "you don't have to do this anymore. Come with me." Grace was shocked. In 6 months, no one had touched her with kindness. Everyone had treated her like garbage. I don't understand," she stammered. "Trust me," the young man said. his eyes still full of that strange sadness. "I know who you are, I know what happened to you, and I know you are innocent." Grace's heart stopped. "What did you say?" The traffic light turned green, cars were honking loudly. People were shouting for them to move, but the young man did not let go of her hands. "My name is Robert," he said, "and I have been looking for you for a very long time." Grace felt her knees get weak. "Looking for me? But why? How do you know about me?" Robert smiled sadly. "Because, Mom, I know the truth about that video. I know who really destroyed your life, and I am here to give you justice." The cars behind them were honking like crazy now. People were getting angry. "But we cannot talk here," Robert said. "Will you trust me? Will you come with me?" Grace looked into his eyes. After months of cruelty and hatred from everyone, she saw only truth and kindness in this stranger's face. "But who are you?" she whispered. "Why do you want to help me?" Robert helped her into his car as the angry drivers continued honking. "That," he said as they drove away from the intersection, "is a story that will shock you. But first, let me take you somewhere safe. Let me give you back your dignity." As the car pulled away, Grace looked back at the traffic light where she had danced for coins every day. She did not know who this Robert was. She did not know why he wanted to help her. She did not know if she could trust him, but for the first time in 6 months, she felt something she had almost forgotten: hope. Who was Robert? How did he know about the video? Why did he say he had been looking for her? And most importantly, could he really give her back the life that had been stolen from her? The answers would change everything. But that is a story for another day. Stop scrolling right now. Before you go anywhere, I need you to do something that could change Grace's fate forever. In the comments below, write one word that describes what you think should happen to Josh. Just one word. But make it powerful. Because here's the thing, Robert has a plan that's more shocking than anything you can imagine. And those who participate in this justice challenge will be the first to see part 2 when it drops. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because Grace's revenge story starts now, and you do not want to miss what Robert knows about Josh's evil plan.